Yeah, we're doing Deftones now. Deftones are one of the biggest, I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea what the hell their genre is. I get so many mixed answers that I have no idea what to even call them. But they are definitely one of the biggest bands right now, with the band gaining even more popularity from the app that shall not be named. And with a new album coming out, I thought it would be the perfect time to go through their discography. The new album, Private Music, hasn't released at the time of this recording, but it will be talked about at the end of the video when it actually comes out. Anyways, I don't want to waste any more time, and let's just get on to the first album. Adrenaline. Fuck, why is this so good? For some reason, I didn't really think that their debut would hold up all that much, considering what albums come after this one. But nah man, this album just consists of headbangers. Mine is Blindfold all the way to Engine Number 9 are all just so infectious, and this is only just the start. So let's move on to Around the Fur. Pretty big step up from the debut, and continues the catchy headbanging rhythms the last album had, while implementing that shoegazy hypnotic sound that they're known for. Just little sprinkles of it, like with Mascara with its slow, ominous start. Not to mention that this album has one of their absolute best songs. Be Quiet and Drive Far Away is just excellent, dude. I'll confess that whenever I first heard this album, I absolutely despised it, and wrote Deftones off as one of these super overrated bands. But opinions can change, and mine did. I now find Deftones quite enjoyable, as long as you ignore a certain side of the internet. And also, why the fuck is the Spotify version of MX nearly 40 minutes long? White Pony. And here it is, the big album of the band. And it was the only album I enjoyed from them for the longest time. They completely dropped the new metal sound from the last two albums and go full on shoegaze for this one. It just has a really nice ambient sound. So many fantastic tracks, including the iconic Change in the House of Flies, with Back to School, Mini Maggot, and Pink Maggot being my favorites on the album. There's a reason this album is so loved, and it's one of my absolute favorites from the band. Deftones self-titled. Well, obviously this wasn't going to match the greatness of White Pony, but I think this is good in its own right. Still has that sound people love from Deftones, just not as good as that wonderful trilogy we just went through. I also really enjoyed Hexagram and Needles and Pins, Saturday Night Wrist. I don't really have too much to say about this album, but just know it's another good one from them. I am pretty split if I like this more than the self-titled or not, but yeah, no, so far they haven't made an album that I would call outright bad. I did think Rats, Combat, and Kim Dracula were pretty fire though. Diamond Eyes. Now this is their peak. I have loved this album ever since I first listened to it. Every single song in this album fucking slaps. This album perfectly balances the heaviness and the hypnotic ambience of the band. And two of my all-time favorite songs from them are on this album. Risk and especially the title track are some of my all-time favorite songs. Diamond Eyes is just perfect, and I don't think there's gonna be another album from them that tops this one for me. Koi no Yoken. They had to title it something I can't pronounce. This is definitely the most ambient or mellowish sounding album I've heard from them so far. It just makes you feel like you're soaring through the sky during night hours. It's a nice, mostly chill album, and I really like it. Gore. I liked it, but I can't call it one of their best. I will say, it seems that this album is a bit underappreciated. It's not a bad album. Pretty good actually. It's just this album has to compete with a near flawless discography. Ohms. I'm really not sure if this is a hot or cold take, but this might be their weakest album so far. Again, not bad, just their weakest. It still has that nice atmosphere, but nothing that really stands out. If this was any other band, this would probably be really good, but since this is Deftones, it's just an okay. At the time of this recording, the new album still hasn't released, but just know we are talking about it next. Private Music. It's currently 11:47 p.m. and I just got done listening to the new album. I have to be honest, it was fan-fucking-tastic. I didn't listen to the two singles they put up before they released the new album because I didn't want to spoil myself and I wanted to give myself an actual first impression to every single track. My Mind is a Mountain is the perfect way to open up the album, and it has a very heavy, chuggy sound that reminds me of Gojira. Then it transitions to Locked Club, which sounds like a continuation of the opener. Then it moves on to Ecstasy, which has a pretty catchy, heavy rhythm, which perfectly transitions into Infinite Source that has an equally catchy rhythm. Other highlights being CXZ, Milk of the Madonna, and Cut Hands. Then the album ends with Departing of the Body, which starts with this very weird alien spacey sound, but then continues with that very nice Deftones sound we all know and love. This could very well be recency bias, but this album shot up there as one of my favorites from them. And there, we're finally done with Deftones. I had a real blast going through the discography for the new release, and I really hope I get to do this again with another band I'm interested in if they're releasing a new album. Now to rank the albums from weakest to best: Ohms, Gore, the self-titled, Koi no Yoken, Saturday Night Wrist, Private Music, Adrenaline, Around the Fur, White Pony, Diamond Eyes. Hope you enjoyed the video, and the next video will be on... oh fuck.